It's Late Night Whispers on this gorgeous radio, and I'm Sunshine. And today I have.
Anthony Bolden with the Anthony Bolden Group.
Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself, Anthony.
Well, thank you, Janet. It's a pleasure to be here on Late Night Whispers on gorgeous radio. I'm Anthony Bolden. I'm the principal of the Anthony Bolden Group. We are a full-service commercial and residential real estate brokerage firm licensed here in Washington, D.C. and Prince George's County, Maryland, in the state of Maryland.
So what made you get into real estate?
Well, when I was attending the University of Virginia during my junior year, I attended the university on a full athletic scholarship to play football.
Oh,
and
I never knew that.
You didn't know that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
I knew a lot about you. I didn't know that. Oh my goodness.
Well, I wasn't back then, because the audience knows we go way back.
Do they now? We don't want to talk about how far.
Well,
Because I remember some things back in elementary school.
we go all the way back.
Oh,
Well,
Lord.
high school, I wasn't involved in a lot of sports. And during my senior year of high school, attending McKinley Tech High School, I played football.
Okay.
And from that 1 year, I earned a full 4-year scholarship to attend the University of Virginia to play football.
Oh, wow.
It was tough.
Okay.
And by my junior year, considering what you're going to do with a sociology degree and staying up late at night, sort of like the market that we're in now, there was a lot of infomercials on at that time. And one in particular, Mr. Wu,
Yeah.
would come on at 2 a.m. in the morning, and he would tell me, a month ago, I couldn't speak English. I just got to this country, but now I have bling and babes and boats, and if you buy my book, you too can have billions.
Okay.
And so I did.
You bought the book.
I did buy the book.
Did you get the millions?
No,
Oh,
I
man.
did not get the millions. I did not.
So y'all know, let the info commercials go.
There you go. And from that, I learned the valuable lesson. I became a licensed real estate professional that junior year, and I've been on this career of being involved in real estate. I have now been a licensed real estate professional for 36 years here in the DC, Maryland area. And it's all because of, the lesson I learned, which now is a part of what I do now with my live podcast, which I'm going to start right now, going live.
This man is something else. He comes in, hold on, let me just tell you. He comes in, do y'all do this? Do y'all do this? Do y'all do this? And I'm like, and then he's trying to plug in his phone. And I'm like, can you just sit down and wait a minute?
Well, we have waited a minute, and now we're going live. Hey, everybody, this is Anthony.
Yeah, but he's on his podcast too.
Chasing
Nobody got
Gazillions.
time for that. Can you stay focused with him?
I just want to make sure my people out there in the audience, for Chasing Gazillions is not the same as Making Millions. I'm coming to you live in a special edition here on, what is it called? At
Oh my goodness.
Whispers at
Late
Night.
Night Whispers on his gorgeous radio. Oh my God.
With his
And I'm Sunshine.
Sunshine.
I'm gonna hurt you.
I know
swear.
it's Janet.
This is almost.
Sunshine.
Nobody
Sunshine.
needs to know my government name.
Okay, fine. Your government name. I love it.
Okay, come
So
on,
we're
stay
on here
focused.
live. There you go. So I leave UVA and I return home and I begin a career in real estate. I come back home. I immediately start working with first-time home buyers who were receiving down payment assistance through the HVAC program. And I was doing that in the community I was born in, Ward 7. And I was helping them, and then I ended up working with a nonprofit housing community development corporation, building homes in Ward 7 for those first-time home buyers.
Oh, wow.
And I just stayed in the industry.
Okay.
But working with first-time home buyers can be very challenging, particularly for new real estate professionals. First-time home buyers, this is the first home they're going to purchase.
Exactly.
It can be very, very intense. It's a lot of energy.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Well, so I did that for several years, and then I thought to myself, you know, I don't want to be in real estate anymore. That I want to do something else.
Okay.
And so I decided I would go back to law school and I'd become a settlement attorney. I was still interested in real estate,
Okay.
but I wanted to do settlements. I wanted to get off the front line.
You do it at the end.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay.
Yes, and so I went back to law school, and for 2 years I had a settlement. I worked at a settlement firm doing settlements, closings.
Right, closings.
Closings, that's right. But during
That's
that,
where the big money is on levels.
well, it might be the big money, but you know what else it is?
What?
A lot of work clearing title, getting ready for those settlements.
And that paperwork.
A ton of paperwork.
When you do a sign off on a house, I literally think from the signatures and the where you just do the initial, I want to say it is 100 and some times you sign an initial.
Easily.
Oh my God.
And so I did that for 2 years, and I realized that, you know what? I am not built for back office work. I need to be out front. I need the energy of being involved with clients, serving as a fiduciary, being responsible for the entire process, not just at the end. And so I left that firm and I joined a commercial real estate brokerage firm, Bolden and Associates. It was a downtown commercial firm here in Washington, D.C., where I represented clients in office leasing here in D.C. and Maryland and government leasing. And that's how I got into the commercial industry. And I've been doing commercial real estate, and I was doing that for a while, for a long while, in fact, up until about 2000. And, you know, I've been through what we're going through now. There was a shift in the market. And I had gotten married.
I saw that. And then you got 2 kids?
That's right, I have 2 children now. But they're not children anymore.
No, they big people.
They are big people. But in 2000, I had a young daughter. She was only 2 years old. And it was raining in the marketplace. And for those of you all who are entrepreneurs in real estate out there, you know when it's raining, this is not necessarily, it wasn't raining money, but just a tough time. And so I went into the government and I joined the General Services Administration, where I served as a contracting officer and senior realty specialist, and starting in 2000, where I was representing large government agencies, representing them in their office leasing needs around here in DC and Virginia. So I got a chance to work on some very large assignments. And that's one of the things I want to share with your listeners. If you are considering a career, you're looking for a place where you can learn and get a lot of experience, good government job is it. As a government contracting officer, I was working on leasing assignments for agencies for 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 square foot leasing assignments, individually on my own, from beginning to end, signing for those transactions. And only in the government, in the federal government, are you able, as an individual, where you could work on assignments of that magnitude, of that size. And so you get a lot of hands-on experience. So don't sleep on the government. If someone is out here in the private sector, you're saying, yeah, the government, I don't want to work for the government. You get a lot of good training in the government. And you get steady hours.
And you get a paycheck every 2 weeks.
And you get a paycheck. That good government every 2 weeks.
And the benefits.
There are health benefits, there are leave benefits. They send you to training. In fact, in the commercial industry, the most prestigious designation one can earn in the commercial arena is the Certified Commercial Investment Member designation, or CCIM. It is a highly coveted designation one can earn after a series of 6 or 7 courses and comprehensive exams and a lot of actual practical hands-on experience demonstrated through your work experience. And I was able to earn that over the course of 5 years while I was in the government. I would take my 1 week vacation every year because these courses are offered over a course of a week. And most real estate professionals are not in a position to leave their business for 1 week and then go take an exam and do that for 7 courses and then take a comprehensive exam.
Right.
They just don't have the time while they're running their business. The government allowed me to do that, and I became a CCIM, and it's been a wonderful destination, man.
Now, I know a few years ago, I'm gonna say at least 5 years ago, maybe a little longer, I ran into you someplace in Southeast, and we somehow met at this house. I think you was already there, and I couldn't remember whether the people were trying to be put out or you was trying to take over the house. I'm not saying you per se, but somebody was trying to take over the house. I came to look at the house because I was interested in buying it, but the people that was in there wouldn't leave. Do you recall that?
I thought we had called you because at that time, one of your company
Right, cleaning, that's
to
what it
clean
was.
out.
Okay,
We were evicting a tenant.
Right.
One of my clients had a property, and yes, as an attorney, yes, and back then I was also doing some LNT work.
Okay.
And so we had represented a client. We had successfully was able to get a tenant who was not a good tenant, was not abiding by the rules and regulations of their lease. And we were forced to go to court to get relief. And we did, and I remember calling your company.
I remember.
Because we needed so many people, because there was so much stuff in the property.
Yeah, you can see from the
That's
outside,
right.
it was so much stuff
We needed so many people in the trucks, it was like 2 trucks. And yes, and that's where we reconnected on that. I think it was off of Nanny Elmberg's Avenue.
And then I saw a big picture of you on Bladensburg Road right there by Mount Hort Church. I can't remember whether it was
right.
your bill flyer about your business or what. And I was like, does that happen again?
Yes. So.
And then you was on Rhode Island Avenue on the Maryland side across from where Bass Liquor Stores used to be.
Yes, that's it.
So another, I was like, I'm so sick of seeing him. Please, somebody get rid of these bitches.
Well, let me just say this for the audience. You are correct. There are a lot of signs up with the anti-Bolden group, and we are an affiliate of Keller Williams as a real estate brokerage firm. But I don't want your audience to think because you see a lot of my signs around that I'm in the sign business. My signs are up because my team is very active here in the DC, Maryland area. We move and successfully sell and list a lot of properties, and we do it faster and for a higher premium than your average real estate professionals here. So that's why you see our signs up, because we are active. We do a lot of things differently than your average real estate professional here in town to help you with the selling of your property, or if we're working with you on the buy side.
Well, I'm not gonna get into too much of my business, but my mom has kind of went back and forth getting houses, and the process is off the chain. But I do want to ask a question. I do have a lot of listeners that have disabilities, but I noticed that Mrs. Bowser came back out with a program for people, housing assistance again. Now, I can recall I was in the program a long time ago, and I think every 4 years, if you buy a house, as long as you can sell the house within the 4 years, you can reapply for that program. So can you elaborate a little bit about the first-time home buyers assistance program, let people know how to get into it, and just give us a little info, because I'm always interested in that first-time home buyers program.
Well, the HVAC program, although you would think by this point would not be a secret, but it is in certain communities in our city, there are certain people in our city who are unaware and don't take advantage of the city programs that are available to them. What you're referring to right now, the newly refunded Home Purchase Assistance Program, HVAC, provides now to district residents who are buying a home in the District of Columbia for the first time upwards of $202,000 I'm sorry, did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
$202,000 to help them towards the down payment and closing costs on the purchase of a home in the District of Columbia. Now, if you are also,
And is it in Maryland too?
there is a similar program.
But not as much.
That's right, but not compared to the district. So the district is what it is. Now, if you are also a district employee, there's another 20 grand on top of that.
Are y'all listening? And
so for all of you all who are out here working for the DC government, right now, you could be applying for and receiving upwards, based on your income, upwards of $222,000 towards the purchase of a home based on your income. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to give you the old bait and switch. I don't want you to just come in here, go to one of your local counseling agencies. There's one at MLK in the 13th Street Bridge, DHCD, that's there. Housing counseling agencies like the Marshall Heights Community Development Corporation, Urban League, University Legal Services, okay, just to name 4.
Okay, that's a whole lot.
Right, but the point is, you can go here and apply. You see, so you can go here to these agencies and apply. Now you say, I'm here, I heard that I can get $222,000 to help me buy a house. Yes, it's up to, and it's based on your income.
Exactly.
But here's what I've always said to my clients. You know, when you apply for the money, there are qualifications.
Yes.
You need to be a district resident. You don't have to be employed by the district. You could just be living in DC. You have to be working. You say, well, my credit's bad. Well, there are people and agencies that can help you work with your credit. You say, well, I got to fill out all this paperwork.
Yes, you do.
It's a lot of paperwork.
Yes.
Okay, and then you say, well, now they want me to go to a class and learn how to be a homeowner. And that class is 6 weeks. Now I gotta wait 6 more weeks. Okay. In the end, what I say to my clients who think that these things represent barriers to them buying a home, I say to them this: do you have anyone else in your family who's going to give to you $50, $60, $80, $100,000 to help you buy a house? And if you have to wait a year,
it takes time. I can, let me not cut you off, but I know it takes time. I went through the first program. I want to say they gave me between $20,000 to $40,000. They gave me a little bit more because I was disabled. Yes, I had to go back and back and back and back. Yes, had to bring several extra pieces of paper. It took, and I was like, oh my God, but it was worth it. Why? Because one, now you have a house. That's all yours. Now, I'm going to teach you real quickly. When you get that house, you have already made principal on that house. So let's just say you buy a house for $10,000. Let's just use something small. When you sign on that dotted line, you have probably made something around a couple of thousand on that house. Now, let's just say you drive one day and, oh my God, I got to get something wrong with my car. Instead of you using your credit card, you can add that on the end of your house. Why? What is the percentage rate on the house? Is 2 point something?
Well, right now the interest rate is a little higher. It's about 7%.
But let's just do 7%.
But you're right. To your point, there's equity in your home that can
help you do a lot of things.
Yes, and you only can build equity when you own a home versus when you are a renter. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a renter. Renting is appropriate in a lot of different circumstances in one's life.
But you also got to think about it too. You kicking out $2 grand to own a house, paying about a little bit about the same amount. Things that make you go,
That's right. Now here's the thing. I have clients who say, well, Anthony, I want to live here where the homes are 800,000, $1 million. I want to live in this neighborhood. I want to live on the Gold. I want to live on 16th Street. This is where I want to live. And they say, if I am unable to afford a home there, then I might as well just rent in an apartment here. That I don't want to live, for example, in Deanwood. Now, first of all, I grew up in Deanwood.
You know that?
Yes, I grew up in Deanwood, 2 blocks from the Deanwood Metro Station.
Oh, wow.
My church, my wife attends, my family is, the church, the family church is the Antioch Baptist Church of Deanwood.
Mm.
I went to school, I went to Carver, I went to King Rougeau, but Carver was there, which is now Idea Public Charter School. The point is that Deanwood community has access to the Deanwood Metro Station, the Minnesota Avenue Metro Station, the Benning Road Metro Station, the Capitol Heights Metro Station, has easy access to 295 North and South, Route 50 to Annapolis, Route 50 over to Fort Lincoln and New York Avenue to downtown DC, 295 South down to the harbor, down to the baseball stadium, the soccer stadium, and ultimately down to the MGM.
But back then it was different than it is now.
Certainly, but those arteries and the quality of life one could enjoy then and now in Deanwood is what makes owning homes in those communities worthwhile. There are now bike trails in areas all around the city that run all along Kenilworth Avenue and up to Maryland University and down into the park. These are quality of life areas that you want in home ownership that you can obtain in a neighborhood like Deanwood as your first home. I tell my clients all the time, it's your first home, it doesn't have to be your last home.
Exactly.
So you got to start somewhere.
And then it builds your credit. You get so much, once people see that you have a house, all of a sudden credit cards are coming here and there. When people have a house, it's just so much like money. Like, I don't even know how to explain it to you, but one of these days y'all will get it.
Well, you got to start somewhere. And here at the Anthony Bolden Group, we are happy and excited to work with you, whether you are selling a property, it's commercial, residential, you are looking for your first home to buy here in Maryland or DC. We are happy to be a resource to you. Our tagline is, our leveraged relationships are going to save you time and make you money. We want to be here to assist you. We think everyone should be in homeownership. You know, just this week, just today, I finished a conference. I was recently appointed by Mayor Muriel Bowser to the Board of Real Estate Appraisers. Oh, wow. And as the real estate broker representative.
All right.
And so they just had their annual conference here, just finished at the West End today. And one of the big areas that were being discussed by the appraisers nationally is this issue of bias in appraisals, if you haven't heard about it. Mm-hmm. Right now, a lot of us have experienced discrimination, racism, bias. We see it, we feel it, we don't know what to do. Now it's been made patently clear that there are some bad appraisers out there who, because they are biased, are getting lower values to homes of Black people, African Americans, people of color, Mexican, you know, versus our white Caucasian brothers and sisters. It's real, it's happening. The industry, I want you to know, I spent a week with representatives from the federal government down to the state level, and they are working to put in place the kinds of tools and education to attack and eliminate these barriers to, one, bring in more appraisers of greater diversity. Did you know that right now, 98% of all appraisers in the country are white men?
Know that.
That the average age of those white men are 50 to 60 years old. Mm-hmm. And so there is now a big push to get more persons of diversity into the appraisal industry. That right now, the industry itself is working diligently to bring in Black people, Hispanics, others into the industry so that it is more reflective of our country, and we can work to eliminate this bias that we all have, and we all suffer with some level of bias, but particularly here in the appraisal industry. So I want to encourage you all who are out there who are thinking about careers in real estate, that yes, you can be a real estate professional, real estate broker, sales, leasing, but there's also an opportunity now to get into becoming an appraiser. And again, if you're interested, you can contact me. If I haven't given out my number,
No, you haven't.
you can reach the Anthony Bolden Group at 240-339-6979. That's 240-339-6979. You can reach us online at Anthony Bolden Group. That's BOLLING We're on Facebook at Anthony Bolden at Facebook, and the Twitter and LinkedIn and on YouTube, Anthony Bolden.
And on his phone.
Yes.
I got a message with that. Oh my goodness. So now, since you are in the know, why don't you think about starting a program for people? Think about that. Where you start a program to teach people to be appraisers. Yeah. And you still can get a little cut off that.
Okay. Well, thank you for the invitation. In fact, I am on a committee now that we are in fact moving towards doing a practicum, and we are working now. The Real Estate Commission and all are actively working to contact some of our local universities, Howard University, some others, so that we might build a program that's going to serve as a pipeline to encourage more individuals to come into the appraisal industry. And you want to be on the lookout for that in 2023.
I'll interview you, because they have, it just amazes me that Maryland, Virginia, almost all the colleges in the metropolitan area have the new class to teaching you how to grow marijuana. So why can't we be creative? There's so many things that us as Black people, I think, are bred in business. I know I am. I can think of a business I did like that.
Yes.
But we don't touch it, if that makes sense. And I'm gonna give you a little breakdown. A guy sells drugs, knows who, when, and where, how much you're supposed to give for every, and I'm not a drug person, but the packages or whatever the things are called. Things that make you wonder.
No doubt, there's an entrepreneurial spirit in all of us, and how it manifests itself, like you described, it comes out in different ways, and those skills that individual you just described could be easily transferred into some other business, legitimate opportunity, but what's needed here in this area is, and it's along the lines of mentorship, but different. I'm not here to talk about it, and I hear your audience out there now saying, "Oh my God, another mentor program." Yes, we do need mentorship, but to come at it just a little differently. I have a personal belief that in addition to having a big why in your life that drives you, these important whys that you've had. Why are you doing this? For your children, for your mother, for your aunt, for your grandmother? That's fine. But what you also need to be successful in this world is a who. You need someone in your life to whom you will voluntarily submit yourself to their wisdom and guidance, with the understanding that that person cares and is vested in your success, but not more than you want it, but enough that they will hold you accountable for you to do what's required to be successful. what comes to mind is my brother's keeper. What we need here now in this world right now is more people willing to submit themselves to someone who knows more, that they trust, that you're going to submit yourself to and say, if this person says I need to do 1, 2, 3, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to stop saying, well, I'm going to do my own thing. It don't take all that. It does take all that. It does take all of that and more, but we need others to help us, to support us, but you need to be willing to submit yourself to their guidance, to their wisdom. I've been doing real estate 36 years. I don't know everything, but I know a lot. I'm only a phone call away from getting any answer that I don't know. If you come to me and you say you want to be a real estate professional, that's great. But when I tell you, okay, you need to take this class, you say, well, I don't want to do that. I just want to sell houses. I just want to buy and flip houses and make money. I say, well, here's the pathway for you to achieving that. You say, well, that's the old way, and I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it my way. And we're not saying you're not going to achieve success eventually your way. I'm just saying when you work with others, like a coach, your learning curve should be cut down. It should not take you to get where I am as a real estate professional 36 years like it took me. You should be able to achieve the level of success I have now in a third of that time, but not overnight. You can be where I am as a real estate professional tomorrow. But again, with my help and my guidance and my support, you can get there. You want to buy a house. You're thinking, hey, I don't want to rent anymore. I want to buy a house. You can figure it out on your own. There's the internet. You eventually will get there. But you should get there a lot more faster working with a real estate professional than not. And here's the thing. It doesn't cost you anything to work with a real estate professional. Did you know that all the work they do, helping you find a lender, helping you find properties, helping you evaluate and write your offer, screening properties, they do all that and they don't get paid and earn a commission until you actually go to closing. If you never go to closing, they never get paid. I just helped a family recently in this market that was crazy, and they were competing, and they were pre-qualified, well-qualified. We had a house to sell, and then we went looking for a house. We finally found them the house that worked for them, that met their family needs. I showed them 31 houses before we found and was able to successfully get the house for them.
So you did it on contingency of them selling their house?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, that's a great point. We put their house on the market because we did not want, because the market of 6 months ago was so highly competitive that if you said to a seller, I need to wait until I sell my house before I can buy your house, they weren't accepting your offers. The market was so high. So my buyers who were sellers sold their house, moved into a rental, and then we found their right house. And again, I saw you over there say, That's what I'm talking about. Persons who say they want to achieve a certain goal, but they are not willing to do all that is required to achieve their success. When you see the video on that family and you call in and talk to them, they will tell you, I'm the best real estate professional they've ever worked with.
Oh, I'm not doubting that, but that's just how my mom, I guess we're on a third, fourth house now, because we just bought another house. We do it on contingency of selling. Now, yeah. I hear what you're saying, but right now the market is kind of cool. So this is the time to do it where you ain't got to really worry about it, because people are still buying houses, but maybe not as fast because you got the Thanksgiving. And this is time. This is my time.
Sure.
This is my time when I'm always looking. I start around the end of the summer, especially right now because I'm ready to move and I need to get a little place a little bit better for my mom because she's 93. But we're looking now and on contingency of selling the house that we have now, or her, not my house, 'cause I don't have nothing, but her house. And it just works out better that way. I don't want to have to rent no house to live in because that's going to be too, especially because I got a 93-year-old mom. I'm not doing that. But I hear what you're saying.
No, and I hear you. All of our clients, what you are saying is really so important, and that is to have a client who is crystal clear about their requirements for success, and that they understand exactly what they need for their individual circumstance. They know what they're looking for, they know what they need, they know what they can do, they know what they are not going to do, they know what they're not willing to entertain. And so in that instance, of course, if you have a property to sell and you're looking for another property, when you find a property you want to buy, but you haven't sold yours, you want to say it's contingent on the sale, but at least the first house is at least on the market.
Right. And then also too now, I even make it sweeter. I always have a second backup plan. So again, my mom, the plan is once I find a house that's going to work for her, because she needs a little bit more space to get around. And let's just say the people say, okay, we're due on contingency for a period of time. And then let's just say that's 2-3 weeks. And then now we're getting towards that end. If the people say, okay, we're getting ready to pull out, then I can come behind and say, okay, we already have a loan in progress. All we have to do is fill out the paperwork and get the money. So we can still move forward without that other people, without us losing the house. So, and I'm gonna just throw this out there. I'm working with somebody that I'm really not. I ain't gonna say that. I'm not gonna say about talk about them, but I'm just saying I'm working with somebody, and
a real estate professional,
right? And they let a house. The first time we saw the house, okay, already had an offer on it. Okay, so we sitting here waiting, la 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 la. I'm slowly getting my mom's house prepared. Mm-hmm. They ain't dropped. People who were trying to buy the house, they wanted too many things. Say, yes, okay. Now, put it on contingency that we'll sell our house. Yes. Also let them know that there's a backup plan. Somebody else got the house. And I was like, I thought you had told these people weeks ago. And we lost the house again, and I'm mad because the one thing that I liked about this house was each room could be heated and can be cold at the same time. They got this new type of system, and a lot of the houses don't have that, but for my mom, that would be perfect. She can be in the living room, and it can be 90 degrees hot. I can be beside the living room in the kitchen, and it can be cold. Then when she comes out of that room and goes to the next room, we can fluctuate, and that was my mom was always
some sort of zone.
Yeah, and I really like that. And again, the rooms were wider, the hall was wider because she's got that eek, and I joined up with my mom. But and I'm really upset with the people that I've been dealing with for a long time. So I'm kind of wishy-washy. Well, I don't even really want to deal with nobody. Let me find my house. Let me look on Redfin. You're still gonna need some help. So I'm not gonna say, oh, okay, Redfin and all that's good, but I really don't like you all too much anymore. Maybe not you, but yeah, because y'all let a house go that we could be, in my feelings.
All that. Mm-hmm. And it's true. And that's important information that the next real estate professional needs to understand and needs to know what's important for success, mm-hmm. what it looks like to you. And also the difference between, as you were telling the story, I was thinking about, in terms of success and how our team would approach it. What you were describing is the difference between a functionary and a fiduciary. A functionary, we find, is someone, a talent. They have talent, but they are limited in that they only do what they are told to do. Mm-hmm. And so, as I've listened to you tell about the story, it sounded like that agent perhaps needed to be told to move on that property and to
And I
issue that
I
offer.
was telling, and
Right.
then I like to. I'm a little weird. I don't only want to work with one person, but then you got somebody else calling me, and I'm like, well, who are they? And then you got somebody else. Well, why can't I just deal with one person? If you know that let's just throw my disability in it. I don't have a problem with anybody knowing about it. Most of you all know. I like to work with one person. So let me work with that one person. Don't be sending me no random people. I don't know you, because if you know my craziness, them other people don't know how I am. And then they may be driving me and I'll be like, oh my God. And they, what's going on? Well, if you had left me with you, you already knew that I had some craziness in me. And yeah,
You know what? Meeting the expectations of clients, even as a fiduciary, where you feel 100% responsible to fulfill all of the needs of the clients. You're absolutely right. Any sort of uniqueness in a client, you're going to encounter that kind of issue, and that can happen, particularly when you're working on teams, because we want to try to meet the needs of all of our clients, but we can't be everywhere and everything to everybody all the time.
And I understand that too. So, okay, because we're coming down to this closing of the show.
No,
not yet though.
Not yet.
Still got about 10 more minutes. But tell us something that you would like for us to know that would make us say, well, maybe I will call you.
Oh, okay. Something that.
And then, do you work with people with disabilities? 2 things.
Okay, two things. Something that will make you want to work with me. Okay, how about this? Last Monday, October 10th, I celebrated 30 years of marriage to my wife.
I saw that on Facebook.
You saw that on Facebook?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, how can Mama get invited?
There you go. and here's
wow.
But here's what's special about Melinda, my wife. I told you I played football for the University of Virginia. In '84, we went to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, and during that week we played and won. But during that week, they had assigned a young woman to each of the ball players to take you around as like the Peach Bowl hostess. Someone who was down in Atlanta. That's right. And that's right. And you didn't have to spend any money. They just took care of you. Whenever you weren't on the practice field, the Peach Bowl host was right there entertaining you for that whole week.
Give you some info, check it out.
and so after that week, then we won and you come on back. Now for me, my Peach Bowl hostess had impressed me so much that I thought to myself, as a junior in college, I said, if I could just graduate and get myself a job, here is a woman who knows how to spend a dollar on the most important person there is.
Yeah.
Me.
I knew that. I knew he was going to say that.
And so I just have been holding on to a good thing. And Melinda was my Peach Bowl hostess at the Peach Bowl in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
And we've been together ever since.
Yes.
And 30 years. And she is the mother of our 2 children. Eliza Bolden, who is 23, graduate of Xavier University. And she just began a new federal job working for the CDC. And my son, Absalom, is a junior down at the University of Memphis. And you said, well, why is he talking about his family? Because if you're considering working with me in the Anthony Bolden Group, that's both my why and my who. That's my family. It's God, family, business. No, God, family, friends, then business.
Oh, friends. Okay, I like that.
Right? Then business. So you need to know that, yes, that's his priority, that's his order, and I've been doing it long enough now that I'm not chasing, I'm not motivated and influenced or threatened by you saying, well, I need you to do this, that, or the other, no matter how unrealistic or unreasonable the demand, just because you think I'm going to miss out on commission. Our business is so much more mature and seasoned that we can provide great service to our clients and what's best for the client, given our services and our resources. So that's what you want to be considering when you're thinking about joining us. That yes, this is a guy who's been doing it at a high level for a long period of time, and he has evidence of success. He has a solid family, and it's not that we are not without our challenges and crazy, but for the most part, we are right.
Okay.
Right. So that's what you wanted. That's what you want to know. Yes, we have other credentials, we have other specialties, but you know what? I tell all my clients during our first requirements meeting, during which that first hour, we're going to talk about your needs, your requirements, so that I can understand what success looks like for you during that first meeting. No, our first meeting is not out at some property that you saw and you said, I want to buy. No, we need to meet, talk. I need to understand where you are. Do you have your financial partner in place? Why do you even want to buy a house? What is important to you about buying a house in this area? So we do all that during our initial requirements meeting, 30 to 60 minutes, depending on the needs. We might have to do it a second time. That's what we want to find out during that time. And that's how we get going. That's who we are.
Okay, now, like I said, I know a lot of people that watch me or follow me, they have disabilities,
Yes.
challenging.
Yeah.
What do you do special for them that you may not do as for other people?
Well, it depends on the nature of their disability, and I mean, we're going to start off with Zoom calls. One, we are going to meet you where you are. So if we can meet you at home or at our office, we're going to make accommodations on Zoom call. Once we understand the nature of your disability, we're going to be identifying those resources that support you, whether it's through our relationships with the Office of Aging or any other government regulatory body like DCRA, that we can leverage them to help us ensure that this particular real estate is in fact going to meet your needs.
Gotcha.
You see, so if we see a ramp at a property, if you need a ramp for easier access to the in and out of a property, we're going to make sure that DCRA, that this ramp meets ADA requirements, and that hey, you're going to be ADA compliant. We understand the ADA rules and how they may or may not impact you, and whether or not you will need any accommodations with this particular property. So we're mindful, we're aware. Not everything, but we're aware.
All right, now, let everybody know your name, the spelling. Let this be your little commercial so that everybody make sure they have all your info.
Okay, all right. So everyone, I'm Anthony Bolden. I'm an associate broker and principal of the Anthony Bolden Group. We are a full service commercial and residential brokerage providing our clients with services here in Washington, D.C. and Maryland, particularly Prince George's County, Maryland. We help clients with a wide range of property types, from multifamily income generating properties, retail and office leasing, and residential sales of homes. We represent buyers and sellers. You can reach us on 240-339-6979. That's 240-339-6979. Or by email at anthony@anthonyboldengroup.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube. I don't know if we have a TikTok account, but there you go.
All righty.
It has been a pleasure being here tonight on.
I thought I was supposed to say that.
Well, you go for it. Do your thing. I just want you to know, it's been exciting being here tonight on It's Gorgeous Radio on
Late Night Whispers.
Late Night Whispers with
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
But hold on, we're not done.
So,
I first wanted to plug in Toys for Tots Drive this November the 11th from 3 to 7. It's going to be a Mingles Meet, 705 H Street, supporting the kids. It's anybody knows anything about a speakeasy spot, that's the type of spot that we have. So it is Late Night Whispers on This Gorgeous Radio, and I am Sunshine. If you have a business, if you want to talk about business, or just talk, I am here for you. Love, peace, and hair grease. Mwah.
all right.